Today, oh, hello, it's me again. I don't even have an intro yet, but I will find something cool. I hope so. But today, I want to talk about emotional labor because it has been something that was really in my mind during this past week, and it kind of get me crying, angry, everything, demotivated about my life during this past week, and I thought maybe I can share my experience to feel better about it, or maybe get some suggestions. Sorry, I cannot deal with my bangs right now. Whatever. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to share my experience and some stuff I read about it. So yeah, as I've told in another video, I have been in a stable relationship for the last 8 years, but for the past 1.5 years, I have been living together with my partner, and it means that it is also both of our first house out of our parents' house, which I know for some of you is a red flag for men, and I agree. I wish he had spent more time by his own before moving in with me, but we didn't have an option to do that. We literally moved countries together, and we didn't have the money to rent separate houses. So here we are, and yeah, where was I? So he is a really nice person, and he helps. He really helps when I ask him to, but a it only happens when I ask him to. B, it usually happens after a few hours or after a couple of times I ask him to do, or even a day later, and I just cannot handle seeing that glass over there not being put into the sink or being washed even better, and or his books everywhere, or like the hair dryer or anything. And he does them when I tell him, and he does them too late. And most of the times, I just don't want to deal with the effort to ask him to be his mom and then wait for him to do and just see the mess in front of me. I cannot deal with it. So instead of doing this, I just do it myself. I just spend time on cleaning, uh, tidying up things, because he's not bothered by the mess. That's one of the biggest problems I think we have. Difference which causes problems. I don't like seeing mess. I'm not a clean freak. I am okay with dust and like to an extent, of course, but I don't like messy spaces because our house is so small. It is messy right now, to me at least. Our house is so small, so whenever something is out, it's already really messy. And I like staying at home or spending time at home, but I feel sad and I feel anxious when house is messy. He knows that, but he does not care about mess at all. He doesn't even see that there's like a plate that needs to be cleaned on the table. He doesn't mind when his clothes are on the floor. He doesn't mind when the kitchen is dirty. He doesn't mind. He doesn't care. So it's not a problem for him. And so many times I try to tell him that it's a problem for me. And we are living together, we're both adults. We're putting the same amount of rent, which should not really matter, but just so you know. And if you care about how I feel, you should be able to do the little thing of putting your dish away when you're finished with your food, not 5 hours later, or not when I push you to do so. And maybe I might come off as too strict, but this isn't something that has happened like a couple of times. This is our daily life for the last 1.5 years. And he is really busy. I am really busy as well. I also have so many things that I'm anxious about, as you might tell from the other videos you might have watched. He is also really anxious, and I understand that. I support him. I try to console him, and I try to do things to make him feel better. And I don't think this is really a difficult thing to ask because our house is really small and I do many of the things. So it would take 10 minutes a day just to check around and see whether the floor needs vacuuming or something I need to take to where it belongs or something. But he just doesn't do. He just doesn't compute, and I am so tired of managing whatever needs to be done in the house. The managing itself is a job, not doing the things. So instead of doing both the managing and half of the job, I just do 90% of the work. And he's not like, oh, you're the woman, you should be the one who does the housework, you need to stay at the house or something. Of course not. He he he's kind of a feminist. I wouldn't say he's a full-on feminist, but he's not. He's okay with feminism. Um, where was I? So I get really tired, and this week was no different. But I'm at like at this level right now. So whenever he does something, I just get angry because the last time we talked about this, he cried. He cried and said, like it was the way he was grew up. It's something wrong with him. He just don't see it. He just don't remember it. And I was like, okay. I stopped getting angry. I started like consoling him again when I was the one who was angry and tired at the first place. But at the end, I was the one who would console him again. And at first, he did a couple of things, like tidying up the bed or doing the dishes, but it lasted for 2 days. And then it went back to the way it was, me asking him to do it, me waiting him to do it, but he would never do it on his own without me asking because he just don't see it or don't care about it. But it hurts even more because we just talk about, you know how it hurts me, but you still don't take up your time just to control. Like you can do like you can plan this even on your computer. But I don't want to tell him that. I don't want to do like a to-do list at home and assign roles for each of the thing we need to do. That's what I don't want to do. I don't want to be the one who manages the household by myself. And just because I am a woman and it's internally grained in me being clean, being tidy. Yes, maybe I grew up in a way that I was expected to tidy up messes or I saw my mom cleaning, but I am grown enough to realize that it's something that shouldn't be like this. It's not something that is genetic or something. It's not about me being a woman. It's just how I grew up, but you can change your behavior very easily. You're an adult, and what if I wasn't here? What would you do? You would do the cleaning at some point. Why don't you do in my pace? It's really not like I'm a clean freak. I am not asking for a lot of things. Yeah, I get angry. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, everything remained the same throughout the week, and then I again got really angry, and I was like, because at one point my tipping point was there were two dishes on the sink, and I asked him to, and I was gonna go to the class at 8 to 11, so I asked him if he can wash the two dishes before he went out, and he was like, yeah, I would probably do it if I have the time. And I'm like, really? You don't have 2 minutes? And he's like, yeah, I might not have it. And I'm like, you have 2 minutes. You would have 2 minutes. Um, I mean, they were some of the dishes he didn't do last night because he was playing games, and you have 2 minutes. I mean, yeah, he was working and studying, and he has a meeting, but he has 2 minutes. Don't make up like don't. It's it's not it. It's 2 minutes. It's two dishes, and they're just plates with some minor stains on it. Yeah, um, and he didn't do it. I I I specifically went on to him saying, "You have the time, so you should do that." And he was like, "Okay." When I was leaving the home, but when I came back, he was gone. The dishes were still there, so I texted them. From now on, I don't have two more minutes to do anything at this house. And I did not do anything for a day. But I was so angry when I did the things. And at this point, I also started reading. That's how helpless I felt. I started reading Reddit about how can I get my boyfriend to do things without me asking for them over and over again. And of course they were like, you should dump him, but I don't want to dump him. And there were also some articles that have been shared on the feed. Um, so I and they were about emotional labor and how this is a common thing for many women. So and they were really helpful, and I really resonated with the experiences these people had, and these women were mothers. I cannot imagine being a mother and having to do that extra managing without the help of a man. Like the not a man, but the other half of the uh, union, whether if it's a man, a non-binary, or a woman, it doesn't matter. But without like taking some initiative, it's what's needed. It's not me as it shouldn't be me asking for help, because you should be the one who's helping out, because you care about my well-being, you care about me handling things more than you do. And yeah, these things, before reading these experiences by other women, these things were I felt guilty about feeling them before reading about this. I knew that it wasn't my role, it shouldn't be my role, but I nevertheless felt guilty because I felt like I was being too angry. These are not really difficult jobs. I can also spend 2 minutes for these dishes, and I shouldn't make a hiss out of it because we're both really stressed. And then when he cried in front of me, I also really felt bad because I was getting him stressed out, but I really didn't feel like I have another option. So I felt really sad, angry, and helpless at the same time. Reading these articles about emotional labor that is put on women without anything in back made me realize that I'm right. Not, what I'm asking for is not unreasonable. And I also texted him these articles. It's like it was 2 days ago, so I don't know if it's working or not. It's it doesn't feel like it, but at least maybe he knows that I'm not like this crazy woman who doesn't do her like he doesn't want to who doesn't want to do anything, who's just angry because she doesn't want to do the things and she wants him to do everything. It's not like that. So I hope it's gonna be helpful. I don't know, but at least it's helpful in terms of me not being guilty about it and not be feeling guilty that I am mad. I shall be mad. I can be mad, and it's like a vicious cycle when you think about it. You feel mad because you're the one who's doing the work. You act mad. You you fight with the person you love. Fight is a reciprocal thing. I'm not getting any benefit from fighting with my partner, and like he is sad, yes, but I am also sad with fighting. It's not like I'm getting happy about our fight. um I'm getting mad because we fought, then I feel guilty because we fought, I feel guilty because I was angry, and then this happens again, this cycle of disappointment, I would say. But at least reading that it's a shared experience, with women from different ages, life points. I feel a bit more empowered to keep my ground, and maybe I never want to do that, but maybe just consider if it's not fixing, it's not something fixable, and probably it's not what I want to spend my life doing. So yeah, I just wanted to share this because, as I've said, seeing other people's experience with it helps me. Not fixing it, but at least feeling a bit less um, confused about it. Um, Maybe you would also feel that way when you see it, but um, remember, we're not their moms. I am trying to remember it. I'm trying to tell him that, and hopefully he'll grow up. Last words ever said. Um, yeah, but I love him. He's a good person. So he's also trying. I can see that, but it gave me the perspective that it's gotta end someday. Like this trial phase gotta end someday, and I'm just gonna keep my ground even more harshly to make him realize this. Um, but yeah, if you have any suggestions on how you got over it without you doing all the management, because as I said, I don't want to do like a task list. Maybe I can ask him to do that. But if you have any suggestions other than dumping or doing the managing yourself, please let me know. That's what I'm looking for. And yes, probably I'll see you at the next one. I'm just posing for the whatever you call it, okay? Bye.